this?
The first issue the Ethics Board will have to look at is whether or not this triggers the campaign laws based on the language in the ad. Does it exhort a vote for or against someone? It's what we call express advocacy. So that's the first issue the Ethics Board will have to determine, is its jurisdiction.
Do you have any concerns based on what you've seen so far?
It would be improper for me to come. I mean, that's really the role of the board, and I don't want to influence the outcome of that, other than I've notified the board as well as the law firm. It was the contact person for the group, letting them know what was going on. And so at this point, I'm waiting for the Ethics Board to get together and review the ads and see what action they want to take next.
And did you speak with a lawyer, or you just simply notified them?
I talked to one of their lawyers, and at that point, I just said, I need to send you something. She gave me an email address. It was with the Holtzman Vogel firm, and so I sent it on to her.
Do you see this as a state issue, a federal issue, or both, potentially?
It will potentially be both, depending on what the rulings are by both the Ethics Board and the FEC, or the IRS if it's a 527 committee.
Scott mentioned that he is concerned that this group seems to be trying to conceal itself. Does a group not have a right to call itself whatever it wants to call itself, and even though they may be fast and loose with some facts, do they not have the right to put an ad out?
It depends on what the ad's, well, everyone has a right to put an ad out. It depends on then what the ad's saying as far as what kind of disclosure you have to do. Are you a PAC? Are you not a PAC? I mean, those are just some kind of factual things and amount of disclosure that it has to follow that's an issue here.
And do you have any preliminary information on this group at all?
Not other than what you guys have in your packet.
So if it's a PAC, it may be under your jurisdiction. If it's a 527, if it's an FEC or something.
That would be correct.
We've seen a lot of kind of faceless groups come in with negative ads in recent years. Is there a lot that your agency can do to stop that, or kind of lift the veil on who's posting those ads?
It's always difficult to find out who is behind anonymous ad. It helps here that the other than a newspaper, which doesn't have a lot of that stuff they keep records of, as far as television, you guys have a lot of the contractual stuff that you give out, so it's easier to track down some of the information about this group than what we find with newspapers.
There's a request for expedited rulemaking. Do you think you could respond to that?
I will encourage the board, and I talked to the chair about it today, given the amount of attention to this, I would hope that they would address it very quickly so we can get some answers to everyone concerned, especially as we enter into another election cycle.
ETA?
I don't know. Higher up on the food chain than me.
When do you mean
How long would it
next?
take, and what do you think it'll
At this point, no meeting scheduled, but it would be, we could call a conference call, review things very quickly. So my hope is we can get it done within the next week or two.
And your options are what?
The board would look at it and then say either it's campaigning, direct an investigation, or it doesn't trigger the campaign laws, in which point we have no jurisdiction. I view that, from what I've seen so far, as being the initial and ultimate decision for them to make.
There are a couple of things to look at in this, and that if they haven't done the necessarily paperwork, whatever registration with you, and then they're separate, is that if they're blatantly spreading untruths or lies or bad information, or whatever you want to call it, are they two separate things?
As of today, Iowa does not have any truth in political advertising laws. So if someone wants to blatantly lie, that is a political, not a legal issue.
Yes, Charlie.